أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We're going to read chapter 75 tonight, the resurrection. And let's see here. There it is. Okay. 40 short verses, so we're gonna finish it tonight, inshallah. Okay, again, we are going to go ahead and read chapter 75, resurrection. And as I said, 40 short verses. And then we're going to finish it, inshallah, tonight. And, okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, very good. Please go ahead, Mom.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I swear by the day of resurrection, and I do swear by the blaming soul. Does a human being think that we will not collect his bones? Yes, indeed, we are able to reconstruct his fingertips, but the human being only wishes to do the most wrong right before him. He asks, when is the day of resurrection? That is when the eyes are overwhelmed by the light and the moon is eclipsed and the sun and the moon are expired. The human being will say on that day, is there a way out? Absolutely no place is safe. Only to your Lord on that day will be the final destiny. The human being will be informed on that day what caused him to advance and regress. The human being will fully see his own soul. No apologies will be accepted. Do not move your tongue to hasten it. Indeed, it is we who will collect it and make it a Quran. Then once we recite it, you shall then follow such a Quran. Then indeed it is we who will explain it. Absolutely you love this fleeting life and neglect the hereafter. Some faces on that day will be radiant, looking towards their Lord, and some faces on that day will be distorted, knowing the worst is about to happen to them. Absolutely when it reaches the collarbones, and he is told, is there anyone to relieve it? And he will know it is indeed time to depart. And one leg lies motionless next to the other. To your Lord on that day will be the journey. He was never charitable, nor did he ever pray. On the contrary, he always denied the truth and ignored it. He was always arrogant with his family. You have really deserved this. Then again, you have really deserved this. Does the human being think that he will be left untouched? Was he not a drop of ejected semen? Then he became an embryo. Then he created and perfected. And he made him into a pair, male and female. Is he therefore not able to grant life to the dead?
Okay, mashallah. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Okay, let's go to the beginning of this chapter. Any questions, any comments, any observations?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Alaikum assalam. Go ahead, Faril, please.
I have a question on when the human being sees his soul. It sounds as if it's two entities, like the human being and the soul, like the the body. I guess that's what's considered the human being. Is Am I in the right perspective that the human being is then separated from the body? I mean, the body is separated from the soul, and it finally gets to see what it is.
No, I mean, what I think to my mind, what it means is that right now you can see your own body. You're not separate from your body, but you have eyes and you can see your own body. Okay, and you look in the mirror, you can see your own body, and then on that day you'll see your own soul. We don't see our souls right now. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, we don't know what it looks like or anything like that. And then when death comes and day of judgment, then we see our own souls. So we'll be the real person who is the soul, and we can actually see our own soul.
But then that body's going to speak up against us or for us. It's a whole nother. Okay, I'll think about it. It's just like the body's doing one thing and the soul is doing something else.
No, I mean, no. The thing is that I mean, you don't have to be outside your body to see your body. You see, I mean, you see your body right now. You look at your hand, you see your hand, and you look at your legs and your feet, and you see it. Some places you can't see, so you look in the mirror, you can see it because that's a reflection of your body, and so the same thing happens there. So you'll see your own soul. The soul becomes visible. Soul right now is invisible to us. We can't see it.
Right.
And that's the real person. Okay? So everything that we do, all the bad deeds that we do is going to affect the soul and basically shrink it. And all of the good things that we do and make contact with our Creator and pray and give to charity, as we just heard here, it's going to be a good thing, and it's going to grow the soul. So the soul would be a developed soul.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments or questions or observations?
Then I do have another question, Dr. Fazely. I hate to keep going over this. But
yes, go ahead.
My question first is the way that we speak about the paradise or the heavens, the afterlife, is right now is allegorical. Is when we talk about the paradise before and our transgressions and eating from the tree or whatever they said, is that allegorical also then?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that what you have to do is you have to think of it this way, that this is a different place. And if you have not been to a different place and you do not see the pictures of that place or anything like that, it's really very difficult to fathom what kind of place it is. So what God is doing is that within our understanding of this world and this universe, then He define these as kind of allegorical and examples of what it is really like. Okay? And God knows that we like certain things. So He says, this is what you're going to have. Okay? And when the time comes, inshallah, you'll see it. Okay? So just be patient.
Okay. All right.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Fazely.
Walaikum salam, Jerry. Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you for the Juma and the message today, and I appreciate being a member of this exclusive group. I was reading an ayat this week, 43:23, and one of the ayats you hit today, bang right with it. It said that I was 43:23 says, and every time we sent a warner before you to any community, their leaders said, we found our parents following certain traditions.
Yes.
And we surely. So my point this week is that, and then you said on Surah 96:9, do you see the ones who forbids a servant of God from praying? Being over here, being an African American, black, whatever, living in America, people grow up over here with Christianity and baptism. So I know I'm in an exclusive group because to see this message in Arabic, in the Quran. Most people over here, they follow exactly what their parents, they parrot everything, and there's no way to break that cycle so they can see this. And I've had many people who have been in Quran studies with us, and they know us as same people and everything. They were here, and they're gone, completely gone. And how do you read the Quran, get into this, and say, and with the mathematics giving you the proof you need, how do you turn your back on God? So I just want to thank you for the message. Thank you for Surah 96:9 to tie up what I was thinking about. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Very good. Very good. Very good. MashaAllah. Okay. Okay. Any other comments or discussions or?
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Fazely.
Yes, Anwar. Go ahead, please. Yes.
This surah paints two distinct pictures very, very clearly as to those who submit to God alone and those who don't. And I would like to read out a verse from Surah 6, if that's okay. I have it before me. And God says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Which verse is it?
Verse 7 of Surah 6.
Okay.
And even if we had sent down to you a book made of paper so that they could touch it with their own hands, indeed the unfaithful would have said this is clear magic.
Yep.
It is such a sad depiction of these categories of people, and no matter what, like Jerry was saying, but it's always what the parents say, it's always what the parents do that generally people follow, and for them that's it. And there's nothing more to do or to research or to find the truth and to have access to God's messages. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely right. I mean, this is if you read this Quran carefully, okay, it gives you so much hope. Okay.
Absolutely.
When we read today chapter 96, okay, chapter 96, it says, okay, I want to go to chapter 96 verse 1, okay, it's right here, we're here, okay, and God says, read in the name of your Lord who created the human being from an embryo. Read, and your Lord the most honorable, the one who teaches how to write. He teaches the human being what he does not know.
Yeah.
This is the best news that somebody could have.
Totally.
I mean, people always complain, well, we don't have access to education. We don't have books. We don't have libraries. We don't have computers. Okay? So we are in a disadvantage. This one doesn't tell you that. He says he is the one who teaches you how to write. He is the one who teaches you how to what you do not know. Okay? He teaches you new things. You see? So he evens the playing field for you. All you have to do is read in the name of thy Lord who created. And we don't do that. People don't do that. Okay? That's the problem we have. That's why you're in the situation you're in. Okay? So we bring all kinds of excuses. Okay? So it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing what God is telling us, what good news is telling us. Tonight we read this chapter, okay, 75, this, okay, 75, and we go to the last verse, which is 40, verse 40, okay, and then God says that, is he therefore not able to grant life to the dead? Can you imagine this? Can you imagine the good news of hope that God gives you? And people just throw it away. They don't care. How many of you is fearful of death? And don't lie to me, okay? Be honest with yourself. Aren't you afraid of death? Death is not a good state of existence.
Absolutely.
Death is a place which is you are an absolute exile from God. Okay, because God does not die. So we are all afraid of death. And he gives you the good news. Is he therefore not able to grant life to the dead? Can you imagine that? We just ignore it completely. We don't care. That he gives you hope. He gives you aspiration. He gives you good news. That he's going to give you life again. Okay, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It is.
Okay. But the problem is, as I said, we just don't care, and we keep complaining and all kinds of stuff. But God this is a new paradigm. This is a new model that God is telling us, and it's very difficult for people to understand this. And we ruin our lives over these things. Okay? Absolutely ruin our lives. But as I said, if we believe in this, then we'll be fine. We'll be happy. God will teach us new things. Okay? And we'll be a happy soul every day. You go about your business and you're always happy. This is the place that God wants to actually introduce you to, but you run away from it. People run away all the time. They don't want it. Okay? They want to fix it the way they want to fix it, but it doesn't work that way. That's not the way to do it. Okay? So believing in God is something that, as I said, if you look at these things, okay, if you look at these things, there are things that only God teaches people. If you look at the story of Gauss, okay, Gauss was a very spiritual man. And since he was a kid, God actually had him under his watch. Okay? So he gave him the understanding. God says we gave him wisdom even as a child. Okay? How many children do you know that have wisdom? There are grown-ups who don't have any wisdom. Okay? Grown-ups are acting like 2-year-olds. Temper tantrum and all kinds of stuff. But the thing is that if you look at it, some people do have that. So that's because he went to school or something? No. Okay. So, I don't know if I told you the story of Gauss, what happened to him when he was 7 or 8 years old. He was in the classroom and he was making noise. He was a kid. So the teacher wanted to make him quiet. So the teacher told him that write from 1 to 100 and add them up. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And, it's going to take him a while to do that, so he'll be quiet. He won't make noise in the class. Okay? So Gauss comes back in about 2 minutes and he has the number, which is 50-50. Okay? So what he did, he actually figured out the arithmetic progression. What the sum of those numbers are. And there's a formula for that. And you can derive that formula. But he derived it right there at the age of 8. Okay? So he learned that because he went to school. Those other kids, they all went to school too with him. They didn't know how to do that. That would have been taking them the whole day to do that probably. Okay. So we have to realize these things, that these things are done by inspiration from God. But we have to take the first step. We have to read in the name of our God who created. Okay? And we have to believe that. Believe that he is the one who teaches you how to write. Okay? He is the one who teaches man what he does not know. We have to believe that. If you believe that, go to school, you'll be first in your class. You'll do things, you actually know the stuff till you advance yourself to the second class, third class, and so on. Okay? There are some people who are like that. So we have to be very cognizant of these facts. And we cannot, as I said, ruin our lives worrying about these things. Okay? But that becomes people's thing. Oh, well, we don't have this and this, and that's why we are like this. No, that's not it. Worship God alone. You'll be fixed. alone. That's what I'm saying. And worshiping God alone means that you believe in God alone. It's not just that, okay? So it's also believe in God alone. Call upon God alone. Okay? Believe in God alone means that you believe everything He says. You can't pick and choose. And then you torpedo your own life and you're unhappy all the time. You feel insecure, you feel all kinds of things, okay? And there's no peace. And so life becomes a mess. But so we have to believe in these things, and as I said, they're full of good news, absolutely good news. Okay.
Also, the example you gave about Einstein is so very true as well this morning.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't learn that from the thing. Okay, I mean, look at it. I'm teaching this stuff. Still, the idea is too futuristic for people to realize it. It's not easy. Okay? What he was thinking in 1905, it's still heavy for a lot of people. He didn't go to school to learn that. Okay? As a matter of fact, he was making bad grades. Okay? So he was bored in the class. He knew these guys were wrong. But what can he do? Okay, he's got to go according to the thing, make good grades and stuff like that. That's what we do in this life. Okay? We go to school. Mom and dad keep telling them, make good grades, listen to your teacher. Okay, the teacher could be the biggest dummy in the world, but and he teaches you wrong things, and you go about your business, but you make good grades. Okay? Is that knowledge? No. So who really had the real knowledge? That's the person who was inspired how to do those things.
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Alaikum salam, Nishat. Yes.
The other side of the coin is also when God talks about for communities that commit injustice and become wicked, God takes away the wisdom from them. Doesn't matter how educated they are, how advanced they are.
Yeah.
It just collapses. I mean, you see it in the history of all these civilizations. I mean, they went to the height of the, advancement at their own time. And then, they became too arrogant or, not believing in God, doing all this wickedness, and they collapse from inside.
Yep.
Well, we're seeing it nowadays. I mean, there are times when, honestly, I mean, you encounter things that is so stupid, and you're like, what's happening? People are losing their common sense, their wisdom, all the time.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Fazely.
Alaikum salam. Yes, go ahead, please.
Something as I'm listening to the whole conversation and I'm understanding also is that in any station, when the people came to David to ask to make a decision for them, it's like having this forum. God gave people some understanding that those that He put in charge, the messengers, have the information. So God gave them that where He didn't give it to anybody else. So this week in calling you, it was that somewhere inside, okay, God sent a messenger, and God will also give him the information to answer the question.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a school that you went to.
No.
And it's not a school that you went to just now. You're answering these questions. And whether we think we don't understand that it's not school or not, we do know that it is a difference in what you know, what you could have learned in school, and that you have to be the messenger, or you couldn't answer these questions that we ask you in the way that you do also. So we do know, most of us, that's got sense.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments or observations? This chapter we just read?
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Salam Mahmoud, yes, go ahead, please.
On, God explains and teaches and we see in verse 19 God is the one who explained it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you and Anwar were discussing that Gauss and how God inspires, how God teaches, how God shows, and He will teach you, and He will show you, and He, that's same root word as al-bayina 98.
Exactly.
The proof. So God will explain it, and He will teach you. You do not need anyone else to teach you but God. God is the teacher of the Quran. We learned that in chapter 55.
Exactly. Yep. Well, as I said, some of these verses are really very simple. Okay? And God opens up your eyes and you can see it. I mean, as I said, that's the last verse. What bigger good news you like than that? Okay? And He says, isn't He able to give you life after death? And can you imagine or resurrect the dead? Okay? I mean, it's amazing. And people just don't care somehow. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. That's the best news that could be. Okay, because they're all afraid of death, all of them. Every one of them wants to live 1,000 years. Okay? But then He says, look, I give you life again. And Jesus don't care.
Well, we see that in 36. Does the human being think that he will be left untouched? And then 37 was another drop of ejected semen. Then 37, 38, then he became an embryo. And he created. But look at 39. And He made him into a pair, male and female. And what do we have today?
Exactly.
We got so many different genders that we are creating.
Yep. And some of my emails, they say in parentheses they and something else.
I have my supervisor now. When he sends an email, he's got him, her, here. So many things. What is this? Where did that come from? So, when we are doing this, what are we doing to God's system? And what will come after that?
God's creation, that's what we are doing.
That's exactly. But then, if you say something or speak out, then you become you will be called a name. So you have to be quiet. You have to be quiet. You'll be accused of something. And we are, in that spot where the devil is running the show. But as you said, we just have to trust in God, and He will take care of everything. Don't worry.
Very good. Very good.
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Alaikum salam, Shakira. Yes, go ahead, please.
The last 30 surahs are mainly the ones that were revealed much earlier on, and most of them describing the day of resurrection and exactly what's going to happen. And so, and in this verse, it's encapsulated, like in many of these surahs. This surah encapsulates exactly what we do and how our destiny is going to be. It's very clear, making it very clear who is going to advance and who's going to regress. What made me think about this was, we will fully see our soul only again, because when we committed that lie and that sin of calling God a liar, we actually got our garments, and from that time on we cannot see our soul. We cannot. And that is the biggest test that we all find. We ignore the soul completely because we cannot see it. are shrunken souls. We cannot see it growing. So that is one of the biggest reasons, because when we are in front of God, yeah, we believe. But when we don't see Him, we just put a whole attention on this body. We believe we are the body.
Yep.
And when you believe that, means that you cannot believe in the hereafter. It's not possible. That's why you want to live long. That's why you want your body to be this and to be that. And these people are trying so hard to see if they can put it somewhere and make it go back.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Even people like me, I actually understand all these things that are, but if you actually look at it, I'm not really doing everything as you said. You see many times you tell us that I don't think I'm getting to you guys. I don't think that you guys are, I'm doing enough to make you understand what this is all about. You are actually right, because thinking about it for myself, I think I understand this completely, but in my life I don't see myself doing the things that exactly I should be doing. And I think that many people, so that's what I have to say, because they're trying hard and I'm not actually doing what needs to be done 100%.
Well, I mean, we're all fail at some level, but God, overlooks many of our mistakes, and that's what His level of love and compassion is for us. But as I said, we have to strive. We have to strive to become better and better. And as I said, take these things literally. When God says something, we have to take it literally. Otherwise, if we question it and have our own opinions and think that we can actually do better, okay, that's where misery comes in. And we are going to be, as I said, no peace, no contentment, no fulfillment. It's just going to be a life of sort of fear all the time. That you live in fear of something all the time. But if you just let it go, okay, and let God guide your life, okay, and put your trust in Him, then everything is going to fall into place, okay. And one has to look at it that way. And as I said, it's a complete shift in paradigm. This is not the way that we were brought up. Let's put it that way, okay? As our forefathers would do it. This is not that way. It's a brand new ball game. Let's put it this way. And God wants us to do this. And doing this is extremely difficult for those people who really do not have any full trust in God, that they think that somehow they can lead their own lives better.
Yeah, and also because you are always surrounded with more people who do not believe than people who believe. Basically, we are very lonely. We are alone, but we are not lonely because God is always with us. But that's the truth, that we are not so many.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, again, it goes back to that true knowledge and true understanding comes from God. It doesn't come from anybody else. Okay? And
exactly.
So, if we understand that and take it to heart, then we're okay. As I said, in chapter 96, which is the first one, it says, read in the name of your Lord who created. Okay? And so if we do that, and we just let God lead our lives, believe Him, take His word as His word that has to be believed. And if we do that, convince ourselves, and ask God to make us convince ourselves, okay, then we're okay. Otherwise, if we have doubts and everything, that, maybe we'll do it this way, it will be better, okay, then we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in turmoil all the time. We're not going to be happy. As I said, we're going to live in fear. We're going to do all kinds of bad things. And And then when it doesn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out, then we may lose faith altogether, which is another problem. Okay? It's an even bigger problem. Then some people blame it on God. But it has nothing to do with it because we failed in the first place. Okay,
yes.
so, yeah.
That's true. This test is a very difficult test, and we just need to. But the truth is that you don't fear death if you really believe in the hereafter. If you don't have no doubts and you really believe in the hereafter, at least I think that I might end up in the purgatory. That would be fine as well.
No, but you see what I was saying, that suppose death is there, okay? He tells you that, isn't he therefore not able to grant life to the dead? I mean, look, what is going on? Okay, he gives you good news that, well, at the end, there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? So he gives you hope. He gives you good news, okay? That's what my point is, and we miss it, okay? So a lot of people don't want to die because they're afraid of death, which is not good. Death is not a good state of existence. That's why God's generosity and His love and everything made us forget that first death. We don't know what it was like. Okay? But somehow subconsciously we are afraid of that because, as I said, when we read the Quran carefully, and I said this, I talked about this before, okay, that is not one of God's attributes. And so you are in absolute exile from God in the state of death. Okay? And that's the scary part about it. Can you imagine that?
Yes, exactly. What you said in the Jummah, can I continue?
Yeah.
What you said in about in the Raka 2 about 331 and 279 and and 3947 and 548, basically from the beginning to the end, it's ending up with just 9:127. And what you said about this, you said that let me see what you said. You said that the whole foundation is 19 based with a huge mathematical underlying foundation, which ends up lining up in 1114.6 having 279 and 331. So it seems to me like the whole of ultimate mathematics and everything about it, that it is fabrication, is just this one fabrication of two verses is actually going to destroy the whole universe if we continue like that.
Well,
is that right?
What I was trying to say is that today that I was doing this, that I went in here and I said, I actually added that to this, okay? I said right here that this bullet, I said, note that the last verse in the compiled version of the Quran, 114.6, is the 331st revealed verse. And on the other hand, 279's Gaussian problem is 3947. So I put this up on the site, okay?
Yeah.
And then I said, note that the last verse in the compiled version of the Quran, 114.6, is the 279th verse revealed in the uninitial surahs, okay? And then say, let's read. But my point is that from what I presented here today, somebody should ask him why 114.6, which is the last verse in the compiled version of the Quran, 331 and 279 are lining up. That's the question you have to ask yourself. And this is the reason. They are connected through 3947, which happens to be the 31st regular prime is 3947. That's why. Okay? And then you see that the 19th super prime is 331. Okay? So, this is the structure that God has chosen for the Quran.
Yes,
what do you want to say? Go ahead.
No, the only thing I'm telling is that the same kind of things are happening all the time that you are showing us. Why is this? Why is this? Why is this? Because everything, why is 548 to 670? Why 670 is 9127? Why is 548 the lonely, 9127? All of them, why? All these questions, everything gels into the same thing, that we are not following the Quran as the way it should be followed, and we should obey this.
Yeah.
You've presented many things like this.
Yeah.
This is
well, I mean, when you look at this, as I said in here, is that 331 and 279. Okay, that the difference between the two is 21 plus 31 is 52. Okay, and you know why that is? Because God actually revealed an initial surah, and that initial surah has 52 verses. Okay, so that's what caused this whole thing. This is the cause of this whole thing. This what we talked about today is the cause of this 3947. You see, 331 regular. You see, so that's the cause. That's why the order of revelation was like that.
Can you say that again?
You see, the order of revelation is that between chapter 114 and the first surah that was revealed, which was 96, okay, they were all uninitialed except for 68.
Okay,
see
yes,
that?
Correct.
68 has 52 verses. And
yes,
52 is exactly the difference between 331 and 279.
Oh gosh, mashallah.
See that?
Okay.
And so they are related though through this 3947. 331 and the other one and 279 are related through 3947.
They are.
That's why they are lining up like that. It was that order of revelation and the order of compilation in such a way forced it to be like that. See?
Oh, okay, I
understand.
understand.
Any other way. Could not be any other way.
Yes, this one is very good. Connecting with the 68, that was the second revealed verse.
You see, chapter 68 was the second chapter was revealed. Okay?
Yeah, I know. That's telling, yes.
Yeah.
It is. That's how the... And also 3947, it looks like two surahs, 39 and 47. But I don't know what the connection is.
I can't understand the word that you're saying, Shakra, because somehow there's an echo there. There's some kind of echo.
Okay, so 3947 is like a surah 39 and surah 47.
Yeah. You see, the other thing which is important about 3947 is that chapter 39 and 47, they bracket those Hamim chapters. See? After 30, there are 7 Hamim chapters, and then there is 47. Okay?
Oh, yes, correct. That's very, I remember that you said that before.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fazely.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any other comments or question observations?
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Fazely.
Walaikum salam. Yes, Jerry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to say, as far as death is concerned, no one is promised tomorrow, and we claim that we fear God and everything, but each time we make a prayer, each time, everything we do as we learn and get more deep in the Quran and the message and making our prayers on time, we have to do this as if we are. And we don't want to leave here. You don't want to die without, God knowing that you did everything you can to worship him alone and study and make each prayer sincerely and all those things. I just want to say, I know we fear death. Everybody fears death, but we have to live and worship God alone as if our life depends on it. Alhamdulillah.
Exactly. That's true. Okay. I mean, that's why God says that the righteous go directly to heaven. They don't die again. Okay? That's what he tells us. The only death that they remember is the first death. Okay? From chapter 67. Okay? He's the one who created death and life. Okay? In order to test you. Okay? Which one will do better? Okay? So we don't remember that right now. This is again another case of absolute mercy from God, that He is wiped out our memories clean from that. But somehow subconsciously we know that this is a bad state of existence. It's not good. Okay. So, because as I said, it's somewhere that you are in absolute exile from God. Okay, and that place is not a good place. That state of existence is a very bad place. So, but He wants to save us, and He, as I said, this is amazing, and He tells us about this, and is He therefore not able to grant life to the dead? Okay, so. But I mean, if you look at it, okay, God said that in the Quran, okay, He gave that thing to this ability to Jesus, okay? He actually resurrected the dead, okay, in front of them. And that's amazing, but nobody believes that. So all of these things are just more and more and more about good news. And people just completely ignore it. They don't want to hear it.
That was the story of Lazarus?
Exactly, yeah. It says in the Quran, it says you resurrected the dead by God's leave. Okay? So, I mean, you literally show them. Okay? You literally tell them. Okay? You have the mathematics thing goes with it that tells you that this is the truth. And people just keep on going about their business as though nothing is happening. Yep. Okay, very good. Are there any other comments or question, observations, any discussions?
I just want to say that was Bonanza that used to talk about all the time last week with the man with all the sons. It was Bonanza.
Bonanza about what?
You used to mention that it was a man, a cowboy program with all the sons. Then he thought that
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, they were all like that. I mean, in the old days, they were all like that. I mean, people preferred sons over daughters. That's how it was. So they still do. Okay? They still do. And, it's just, that's the way it is. As I said, the whole thing is a paradigm shift. Okay? And, you look at, for example, when Muhammad was born, okay, these people were burying their infant daughters because they didn't want to have the shame. That was a shame for them to have daughters. Okay? And then Muhammad comes in there and he only has one daughter. Okay? Can you imagine that? I mean, this is just, look, you guys, here, this guy he only has one daughter. So all of these things were designed towards that. Okay? Towards to show that it doesn't matter. As I said, people just don't take heed. Yeah, it's Bonanza, Big Valley, all of those shows. They had, they had all these sons, and they were macho people, and they beat up on other people and pulled guns on them and all kinds of stuff. So.
And we enjoyed it.
Yep. Okay, very good. Okay, if there are no more questions or comments, we'll finish for tonight, okay? And then we'll, inshallah, hear from you next week then, okay? So